Everyone thinks desire is polite and predictable. It is. Real desire lives in the shadows, in the moments we don't brag about, in the impulses we pretend we don't feel. If you want to understand attraction at its rawest level, you need to hear what most people are too ashamed to say out loud. You assume women want safety, romance, and gentle affection. That story is comfortable, but it's incomplete. The truth is rougher, darker, and far less tidy. I'm speaking as a woman who has felt it firsthand. Once you understand these hidden triggers, you'll realize why certain men linger in a woman's body and mind long after they're gone. These aren't things we confess proudly. They're the urges we hide, the ones that leave us restless, conflicted, and strangely attached to the man who knows how to awaken them. There are 11 of them. The third is the one we feel the most shame about because it strips away our sense of control, yet we still can't resist it. The first is the one we crave the deepest, the darkest pull, the force that draws us back no matter how far we've walked away. Before I break them down, take a moment to like, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. Desire speaks the same language everywhere, no matter the country. Now listen carefully. Secret 11. The ache of being ignored. Here's something most men never understand. Being ignored can awaken desire faster than constant attention ever will. When you don't reply right away, when you see us but don't react the way we expect, when you leave us waiting in silence, it hurts. That discomfort turns into longing. I've felt it myself, phone in hand, mind spiraling, body restless. Every unanswered moment made me want him more. I hated admitting it, but my body told the truth before my pride could. Most men overwhelm women with attention until it loses value. The man who withholds it, who makes us wait and wonder, becomes impossible to stop thinking about. Silence makes your attention rare, and rarity is powerful. We won't say it out loud, but being ignored sharpens desire because it turns your presence into something scarce. And if silence does that, wait until you see what jealousy can do. Secret 10. The fire of jealousy. This is an uncomfortable confession. Seeing you receive attention from another woman can ignite something fierce inside us. It doesn't matter who she is, a coworker, a stranger, someone laughing a little too easily at your joke. The moment we notice it, something primal wakes up. Our stomach tightens, our chest heats up, and our body reacts before logic has time to intervene. I've lived that moment, watching a man I believed was mine smile while another woman touched his arm. I stayed composed on the outside, but inside I was burning, angry, aroused, desperate to pull his focus back to me. Jealousy doesn't push us away. It intensifies desire because now there's competition. Now being chosen matters. When you choose us in that moment, it feels intoxicating, like claiming something forbidden and finally making it ours. We'll deny it. We'll pretend we weren't affected. But the threat of being replaced stirs something deep and powerful. And when that threat passes, the effect is even stronger. Secret 9. The thrill of winning. Every woman knows this feeling, even if she never admits it. Being chosen. Knowing you had options and still came back to her. When another woman shows interest and you return to us anyway, something shifts. I felt it in my body. My chest lifting, my breath shortening, my skin alive with energy. It felt like victory. That rush is addictive. It makes us crave more. Comfort doesn't hold desire for long. Victory does. Knowing you could have walked away but didn't keeps us hooked. We'll act calm, but inside we're already bracing for the next challenge because winning you once makes us want to win again. Secret 8. The power of mystery. A woman's imagination is dangerous. When you don't explain everything, when you keep parts of yourself just out of reach, our mind fills the gaps. I remember lying awake, replaying conversations, wondering why he stayed calm when I expected explanations, why he felt close yet distant at the same time. My thoughts ran wild, creating scenarios that made my body restless. Mystery feeds desire. What we imagine is often more intense than anything you could spell out. Men who reveal everything too quickly lose their edge. The man who leaves us guessing stays with us long after the conversation ends. Secret 7. Restraint. This is where many men fail. When you give us just enough, a look, a touch, a kiss, and then you stop, the effect is overwhelming. I remember leaning in, expecting more, and being met with nothing. My body didn't relax, it ached. Restraint builds obsession. Rushing kills desire. Control fuels it. We might act irritated when you pull back, but inside that denial plays on repeat until we see you again. Secret 6. Undressing the mind. You don't need your hands to strip a woman bare. The most powerful man is the one who sees beneath the surface, the one who names what we're feeling before we've admitted it ourselves. I felt it when a man looked at me and calmly said exactly what I was trying to hide. In that moment, I felt exposed, seen, and undone. That kind of awareness is intoxicating. It creates a vulnerability that feels like surrender. A man who undresses the mind holds far more power than one who only reaches for the body. Secret 5. Scarce attention. Attention is easy to give, which is why it's often worthless. Compliments, messages, and likes blur together. But when attention is rare, it becomes valuable. I remember waiting days for a reply, then feeling my chest tighten when his name finally appeared. That single moment outweighed dozens of messages from anyone else. Scarcity creates hunger. The less you give, the more we crave it. We'll pretend we don't notice, but inside we're waiting for the next drop. Secret 4. The fear of replacement. Nothing unsettles a woman faster than the idea that she could be replaced. It doesn't need to happen. The possibility alone is enough. A glance from another woman, your calm independence, your distance. Suddenly our mind creates stories, and none of them are kind. I felt that panic, calm on the outside, unraveling inside. The fear doesn't push us away. It makes us cling tighter, compete harder, and work to prove we still matter. Secret 3. Unshakable composure. This is the one we hate admitting. When we test you with attitude, silence, emotional storms, and you don't break, something shifts. I remember trying to provoke a reaction and watching him stay steady. My frustration grew, but so did my desire. In that moment, I realized I wasn't controlling him. He was grounding me. A man who holds his frame while chaos swirls around him becomes dangerously attractive. We resist it, but it pulls us closer. Secret 2. Presence without effort. Some men perform for attention. Others don't need to. The man who walks into a room calm, grounded, and unbothered carries an energy that draws us in without a word. I felt it sitting across from him, his presence heavy, his confidence quiet. He didn't chase. He didn't impress. And still, my body leaned toward him. That aura is rare. It's power without noise, dominance without force. Secret 1. Refusal. This is the deepest truth. When you refuse to chase, when you walk away instead of bending, desire doesn't die. It multiplies. I remember watching him leave, expecting him to fold. He didn't. And even though my pride burned, my desire surged. A man who chooses his standards over validation stays in our mind long after he's gone. We replay the moment. We feel guilt. We feel longing. And once that feeling takes hold, it never fully disappears. Now you understand. Desire isn't built on flowers or promises. It lives in silence, restraint, mystery, composure, and self-respect. Masculine energy doesn't beg. It attracts. It tests. It walks away when necessary. And that is what lingers. Let me take this further, because if you stop at the list, you miss the deeper lesson behind it. What ties all of these truths together is not manipulation, tricks, or performance. It is identity. Men who create this kind of pull are not acting. They are not memorizing lines or copying tactics. They are simply rooted in themselves. And that grounded state does something powerful to the feminine psyche. A woman does not fall apart for a man because he chases perfectly. She unravels because he does not need to chase at all. When a man is centered, his silence is not empty. It is full. It carries weight. His calm is not passive. It is intentional. His restraint is not fear. It is a choice. And choice is what signals power at the deepest level. not power over her but power over himself. That is why attention only works when it is selective. That is why mystery only works when it is natural. That is why walking away only works when it is real. The moment any of this is forced, it collapses. Women feel desperation instantly, even when it is hidden behind confidence. And desperation kills desire faster than rejection ever could. Here is the part most men misunderstand. These reactions do not come from cruelty, they come from polarity. The feminine responds to stability the way water responds to gravity. It flows toward it. When a man is emotionally reactive, easily shaken, or overly accommodating, the polarity flattens. Comfort increases, but attraction fades. When he is steady, self-directed, and willing to lose what does not align with him, polarity sharpens, and with it comes desire. That is why denial is so powerful, not because it hurts, but because it reveals hierarchy. When a man refuses to abandon his standards for approval, he sends a message without words. He says, "I value myself enough to walk away." And that message lingers. It echoes. It reshapes how a woman sees him, even if she never admits it. This is also why regret follows distance. When a woman leaves a man who never folded, her mind fills the space with imagination. She wonders who he is with. She wonders why no one else feels the same. She replays the moments where he stayed calm while she was emotional. And slowly, the absence becomes louder than his presence ever was. That is not ego, that is imprinting. A man who holds his frame leaves a psychological mark, not because he dominates, but because he remains whole, and wholeness is rare. So understand this clearly. The goal is not to make a woman chase. The goal is to become a man who does not need to be chased. A man whose life, values, and direction are so intact that anyone who enters must adjust to him, not the other way around. That is the difference between attraction that fades and attraction that haunts. And this is why masculine energy does not argue, explain, or beg to be understood. It observes, it decides, it moves forward. When it gives attention, it is intentional. When it withdraws, it is final. When it stays, it is chosen. And when it leaves clean. Women feel that clarity in their body before they understand it in their mind. If she leaves a man like this, she does not forget him. She compares everyone else to him, and most will fall short, not because they are bad men, but because they bend where he stood firm. That is the unspoken truth. I will go deeper next time. There are layers beneath this that almost no one talks about, especially what happens after attraction locks in, and how a man can either keep his power or slowly give it away without realizing it. If this resonated, like the video, subscribe, and tell me where you are watching from. I want to see how far this message travels. Because no matter where you live, desire responds to the same signals. And do not miss the next one.